This is nice.
Congrats on the Man of the Year nominee. It's a pretty big award. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. To be able to be recognized for everything that I'm doing, it's great. But, still a lot of work to be done, and just want to keep it going. But definitely thankful, grateful, and just keep it going.
What inspired your work in the community?
I feel like it's something that's always just been a part of me. Something my parents taught me growing up. And I feel like that's just kind of guy I am. I've always been a guy to help others. Since I was young, even if it's like I have 3 sisters, so just helping them, helping my parents around the house, growing up, that's just what they taught me. So it's always been a part of me, and that's just the kind of guy who I am.
Which initiative are you proudest of? Or
What was that?
Which initiative are you proudest of or like the most?
I'll probably say the stuff I've done in my high school. Over the years, it's just kind of gotten a little worse. Since I went there over 10 years ago, maybe, 10 years ago. So, just proud to be able to get back to those student athletes over there, give them something I didn't have when I went there, giving them the resources for them to be the best they can be. And yeah.
What did they use that for?
So what I was able to do was build an athletic center there, so they can have like a full-time trainer on staff. They have like a room they can go in to get treatment, cold tubs, ice machines, stuff that we do here, like, professional teams do, or, more other schools have that, my high school didn't. So just stuff to help those athletes be great, and give them the best chance to be successful.
Are you able to ever go back to games or whatever and kind of see them play? Or?
Games is tough, but, I follow, online, and, just try to do my best to keep up with them. They're doing good. They just won their Open Division title, so I'm proud of them. But I try to go back as much as I can. I went back for graduation. I was a keynote speaker, actually, which was pretty dope. So,
does an off-field award like this maybe mean even more in a year that it's been a tough year for you, obviously,
yeah,
with the injuries and everything you've had to fight through?
Yeah.
Can you maybe even appreciate something like this a little more because of that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's giving me more time to think about things that I want to do more. Even though, of course, my mind's still on football, always will be. But, when you have that extra time, you can think about things you want to do for the community. And that's just what I've been trying to use to distract myself a little bit, not think so much of the injuries and, be down on myself, just use this time to give back to the community and, make myself feel better, so.
What was the theme of your graduation speech without going over it?
The theme? Just basically just encouraging the kids just to follow their dreams, never give up. The talk, the regular talk, always try to just build them up and just, keep them positive and know that there's ways to always do what you want to accomplish, even if it's not, road A, there's still road B you can take to get there, so.
Then you're also doing stuff here in the U.S., but you also are connected with the African roots. Can you talk about the duality of you helping?
Yeah, I feel like it's really important to give back, from where you're from. Knowing where my parents came from, going back there and seeing how they grew up, it's difficult, it's tough. There was one specific thing where the village was without lights for like pretty much the whole year. So I was able to, help out, give back, and, cut the street lights back on so they can see at night, so which is huge. Because once it gets like 5 o'clock, it's dark and no one can see. So, just helping just bring back light into the village and, just helping out that way any way I can is what I'm here for.
How many times have you been back there?
I've been back to Africa twice. I went to Ghana for the NFL Africa thing. I think that was about 3 years ago. I can't really remember it, but then I went with my dad to Nigeria to see his village and my mom's village last year. So that was a good time.
How long a trip was that?
What was that?
How long were you over there?
I was only over there for a week because I had to, come back and start training and do a bunch of other stuff too here. So, but it was a good trip.
Was it one of your parents' village that you put the lights back on?
Yeah, it was my dad's village. Yeah.
I'm gonna be the guy that asks you about football, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Last year you had an injury and the defense really struggled against the run. This year you had an injury, a couple injuries, and you've been able to watch the defense really find itself. Talk about what you've seen from the defense on the sidelines.
Yeah, I see a lot of guys just playing hungry. A lot of guys just going out there and just trying to prove that the narrative that they have on the Seahawks is not true. And shout out to Coach Mike, man. He does a great job with inspiring everybody. Really uplifting guys, get guys fired up. He just does a great job in just leading us, and guys are taking the initiative. We have a lot of good leaders on the team as well, and guys are taking the initiative to do it themselves. And it's kind of like a competition out there. I see the guys are like, oh, okay, he's making plays, I'm trying to make plays too. So it's kind of building everybody up, and everybody's kind of trusting each other and believing in the scheme, and everybody's playing together.
What are you hoping to add when you get back on the field?
Just add my playmaking skills. That's one thing I've been doing my whole career is making plays. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to doing when I get back out there is just making plays.
What's this year been like for you with two pretty significant injuries?
Yeah, man, it's been tough. Pretty much my whole career I've dealt with little injuries there, but nothing that's kept me out for this long. Starting from last year with the pec injury, so I'm just trying to just refigure out myself. What I need to do better. I feel like it's really things that have kind of been out of my control, especially with the knee injury that I had. And then one thing leads to another, so who knows? So just kind of just refiguring myself out and just trusting my process and knowing that, I know my career is going to be great. I'm going to still be the same player I am and just continue to trust myself.
What did you think of that play in the preseason game?
I thought it was dirty, straight up. I didn't like it. It's preseason. We're going to be there in like 2 drives, but it's football. I get it. It's football at the end of the day, but it was definitely a dirty play.
What your most recent injury? What happened on that one?
Yeah, I was dealing with a thigh injury. What happened was I tore my quad in my left quad. So that's what I was dealing with. Talking to doctors. No surgery was needed. I rehabbed and I feel ready to go.
We asked Gino about that hit on Trevor Lawrence. Did you see that by any chance?
Yeah.
And he kind of sympathized with both sides. Obviously you want to protect the quarterback, but he understands that you guys are making a split-second decision.
Yeah.
Sometimes quarterbacks and fake slides, all that stuff.
Mhm.
I'm just curious what your approach to that is and what you think and what kind of conversations you've had about that.
Yeah, it's difficult, being a defensive player in this league now. We got all these different rules and how to land and how to hit and when to not hit and how to tackle. Like, it's really difficult, and I'm sure that player had no intentions of, hurting Trevor. But I think, from a defensive player, I think quarterbacks got to slide a little earlier. You can't wait till the last second to test the guy because he's going to go his hardest. He's going to keep playing. If you wait to get to that last second, you never know what might happen. Not saying it was right, but the guy's just playing hardest. And unfortunately, Trevor got injured, seriously, and we don't wish that on anybody. So.
The play that you got hurt on in the preseason, has your perspective changed on that at all in terms of whether it was dirty or not?
No. My perspective doesn't change at all on that. That was a dirty play. I feel like the way he was going, you're not allowed to block back to going towards your own end zone, and I feel like I was past him, and the way he dove was coming back towards his own end zone, and I feel like it was dirty.
And it wasn't the fact that it was a preseason game. Like if that happened in a regular season game, would you have felt the same way?
I would have felt the same way. I know you're allowed to cut, but the way you cut, you can't do it going back towards your own end zone, and that's what he did to me. So that's what made it dirty.
Every injury situation is different, but a lot of times if a guy's on IR and the team's on the road, you might be back home rehabbing or spending extra time with family. Why was it important to you to be with the team? We see you on the sideline interacting with the guys. Why'd you want to be there for that?
I just know that's just who I am. I don't want to. I know last year when I had my pec injury, that was kind of the first time I really got injured, really in my career. So I took some time off. Coaches told me to stay home, be with your family, and then come back and join the team. So this year I didn't want to abandon the team. I wanted to be around those guys, keep being a leader that I am, keep being a coach pretty much out there on the sideline, helping guys figure out how to beat certain blocks or how to play certain things that they're getting. So I was able to offer that part of my game, even though it's not on the field, it was more mental, and I felt like that was really important to those guys, and being their kind of quote unquote cheerleaders on the sideline, I guess, to help them keep their confidence up and stuff.
Last time you played, 2 different linebackers, different starting safety.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Robertson Harris wasn't here. A lot changed on the defensive side. Talk about some of the new faces in the lineup.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new guys. Well, not a bunch of new guys, a couple new guys out there. EJ's doing a great job for us stepping up. T-Knight's doing a good job for us stepping up. But, sometimes that's the NFL. Things don't work out the way you hope. And, shout out to Jerome and T-Dot. They came in, did a great job for us when they were here. But, sometimes things just don't fit. And instead of just having them here, sitting on the bench, they're able to go and prolong their careers and, continue to play and show their skills on teams that they do fit with. So, it's a win on both sides at the end of the day. And, I'm happy to make friendships and relationships with those guys, but it's the nature of the business. You got to move on. You got to produce. You got to keep going.
Do you feel like you can play like full normal workload on Sunday, or do you got to be like on a snap?
That's what I'm preparing for. That's a coach's decision at the end of the day. That's out of my control, but I'm preparing to be able to play. You never know how the game goes. It's football. You can be on a 12-play drive. You never know. So I'm just trying to get my body as ready to go and play as many plays as I need to be.
You've obviously known Leonard for a long while. What do you make of the way he's been playing for you guys?
I mean, I hate to say I've seen it, but I've seen it already. I knew he was capable of doing this. He was he top 6, top 5 pick, for a reason. So I've always seen the skill in him. And it's just good to see it, especially for us, especially when we were struggling a little bit, going through what we were going through, to see him come out and have these back-to-back games like this. It's just firing up the defense even more, and it's keeping his confidence going. He's a big part of that D-line, so we're only as good as the D-line takes us, and getting pressure on the quarterback and stopping the run and all those things. So, once it's good to have Leonard playing like this, we're going to need it down the stretch.
This is your first chance since you've been here to win a division title. It's within reach. How much is that something that you and the team are thinking about and really going after?
Yeah, but to be honest, nobody's really thinking about it. We talk about it because it's real, but we're just thinking about trying to win every game, game by game. We know the rest of the schedule is pretty much, do or die from here. We got all these division games, not necessarily division, but in the division, NFC games left. And, it all comes down to trying to win each and every one, starting with the one this weekend. So another, divisional playoff game on the road, so we got to bring our best game and, take it game by game.
Besides the situation with the lights, was there anything upon visiting your dad's village that really stuck with you on that trip?
Yeah, just seeing how, everyone functioned in life, People, tend to take for granted what they have here in the States, but they make the most of every opportunity that they have out there. They're very resourceful, very smart, very creative in how they do things, how they go about their daily life. And, it's a grind. You have to continue to work hard out there, or some nights you won't eat, So that's one thing that stuck with me, is just not taking anything for granted that I have here in the States, and how blessed my life is and how I was able to grow up.
What was your reaction when you found out?
About what?
About being the man of the year.
It was great. This is my second time being nominated, especially with all the, options that they have here. They got Tyler doing great things in the community, Gino doing great things in the community, a lot of guys doing great things. So for me to be chosen, it's a blessing, and I'm honored.
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
All right.